What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we are at Fargo Hector International Airport for the 4th airport update for the month of June 2025. We've got some gate changes, some aircraft have been swapped around a little bit, and we do have another construction update to take a look at for the terminal expansion project, which is going to add several new gates to the airport. So very excited to see what's new with that. Before we get into all that, let's take a look at some of the aircraft that we have at the gate today, and we'll start off with American parking at gate 1 today. So these aircraft, I'm guessing they like to swap gates often depending on what's available, but we do have a couple of these changes here where different airlines are parking at different gates. So here's our first change with American at gate 1, this 175 coming in from Dallas Fort Worth, arriving in as flight 3385, an envoy service. This arrived in at 3:57 p.m., had a scheduled 4:05 p.m. arrival. All the flights in this update are from the first day of June, since I wanted to have a June schedule in there, so scheduling this is a bit tight, especially with this update being the first one that goes out every month in my current schedule, so I may have to make some adjustments to ensure that I don't run so close to the video being uploaded before I actually have time to put this together with a proper June schedule. But as we continue on, we do have our Delta mainline service. Both of them are in this update. But we do have the 737-900 parked at Gate 2. And this ride-in from Minneapolis is Flight 2278 at 8:41 p.m. had to be scheduled at 9:06 p.m. arrival. Next to that, Allegiant from Nashville to Music City. Love that airport when I flew there last fall. So we'll be excited to check that out at some point again in the future, and especially with their terminal expansion that they're working on. I think it's like the New Horizons project, if I remember right. They're getting pretty close to completing that now. I've seen some of the photos of that. It looks great. This Allegiant A319 arrived in as flight 1948 at 8:18 p.m. had to be scheduled 8:27 p.m. arrival. This aircraft was about half an hour away from landing when I was putting together the schedule for this update. Then we have a United CRJ 200 in the Evo colors. Next to that, at Gate 4 from Denver, this arrived in as flight 4688, a SkyWest service, at 12:55 p.m., had to be scheduled 12:57 p.m. arrival. And then Frontier over at Gate 5, which is where United typically parks. I do have the United mainline service in this update as well. So this aircraft arrived in as flight 4794 at 2:02 p.m., delayed from 1:45 p.m. scheduled arrival, so working with the delay of 17 minutes. So there's all of the aircraft at the terminal for this month's update, which, pretty quick segment, but I wanted to take some time to highlight all of these services just in one big segment, my Route to Roundup segment, which I guess will be its new name moving forward. I do like that name. So as we take a look at all those services right now, so the Minneapolis service, pretty much the same. There will be some mixes of different mainline aircraft. The 175 and CRJs are still there, of course, but we do have a mixture of some A320s on both frequencies, A319 or a 737, so they'll swap around between those fairly often. American from Chicago, 3 daily 170s, so that'll be on the Envoy aircraft. And then United, 3 daily CRJs, up to 4 later in June or so. And there will be one 550 frequency there, so the GoJet service coming into play. And then our Nashville service on Allegiant, that's twice weekly, a Sunday-Thursday frequency with a mixture of the different Airbus types, the A319 and A320. And then all the way down into Orlando, so Orlando-Sanford, that's a Monday-Friday frequency. Looks like it's all 319. And then DFW, which is still 3 daily 175s and no changes there. They need mainline on that route. I hope they get that soon. And then Frontier, 5 weekly by mid-June with a Monday, Tuesday, or Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday frequency. The Wednesday one starts on the 18th, and a mixture between the A320 and the A320 Neo there. Allegiant from Vegas, that's a Monday, Friday service through all of June, which we do have 5 Fridays this month, which will be nice. I don't have a extra random model airport update plan since it's not a Friday necessarily. Come on, get out of my way there. There we go. Stupid pop-up advertisements. Phoenix Mesa, almost daily. The only day they don't serve that is Tuesday, but otherwise every other day has it. And then for Phoenix, Sky Harbor. That starts November 2nd, Embraer 175, once daily from there. So seasonal service coming into play in that department. But yeah, that's really all the services that Fargo will have for the foreseeable future. And then we'll see more come back in the winter. So it'll be fun to cover those once we get back to that point in the year. So the updates will be a little bit barren in terms of the different services that we have here out of Fargo. Now we'll check out our mainline aircraft that are taxiing in. Probably should still be from the other way since that other taxiway is still closed, but just to kind of switch it up a little bit, I guess we'll just pretend that they tried going this way. They tried going to the left here from right to left, realized the taxiway is still closed, and are like, oh, we got to turn this thing around and got to find somewhere else to park until those aircraft clear. So we have the other Delta mainline service. It's on the 319 this time. This arrived in is flight 2295 at 11:32 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 11:48 p.m. arrival. The first A319 for Delta, or for Northwest, it was initially christened the city of Duluth before it was taken over by Delta. Then we have our United mainline service from Denver, flight 1351. This A319 arrived in quite delayed, about an hour and a half behind schedule there at 10:02 p.m., delayed from an 8:31 p.m. scheduled arrival. So quite the delay there in that case. And then I do have an extra aircraft that I was able to squeeze into this update, the King Air 350. I have seen the Jetset ones. They look really good. I'll have to pick them up because I know they'll be at Airliners International this month, which is in like 23 days or so. So almost 3.5, not even 4 weeks now. It's like 3.5, almost 3 weeks until the show. So I'll have to pick some up there if they have some in stock. Hopefully they do. But we did this King Air 350 coming in from Dickinson, North Dakota, which is on the other side of the state. And this arrived in at 1:08 p.m., delayed from a 12:41 p.m. scheduled arrival. So just a 17-minute delay here. So that's all the aircraft that we have in this update. And now for a quick construction update for the ongoing terminal expansion for the Fargo Airport. So I do have a view of the terminal, which I'll pop up on your screen. And as you can tell, there is some more progress on the siding for this terminal, which looks fantastic now. I imagine this, I don't think this is the main layer that's going to go on. There'll be an extra layer on there, but just some of the extra siding has gone in. Still working on some of that up on top as well. And then just all around, still have a lot of the dirt that's torn up. And then the actual apron, it looks like grading still continues with that. And they're getting pretty close. And yeah, they do have that other taxiway still closed. So there's that answer right there. And I love in the picture that I have, it may not be accurate when you see it on your screen, but the CRJ, there's a Delta CRJ 900 that's just peeking out from up top. It's like peekaboo. And yeah. And of course, they got the big staging area for all the construction equipment and all that, and for the trailers and stuff for the workers to reside in on breaks and whatnot. But looking really good. And then the parking garage looks like that's also coming along nicely. I have seen now it says it will open in August, because I initially said it was June, but now the website has updated and said that it will open in the next 2 months. So August now, the target to get that open. So there we go. That is this month's Fargo Airport update. Great to see the progress being made still on all the construction and then our various routes and aircraft changes and whatnot, and the changes in where they're parking, at least in this update, just for the sake of variety. So good to get that in there, and then some GA aircraft as well. I'd love to highlight all the UND aircraft because Fargo does get them occasionally, since Grand Forks is just a hop, skip, and a jump north from here. So if I can get more of the little Pipers that they have, I know Tarmac Designs released a similar type, and I could probably get those and utilize that as a way to represent all that UND traffic, because there's a bunch of them. They probably like 100 Pipers, because obviously it is a big flight school, so you need a lot of planes. So I always see them flying around. It's really cool though, and especially when they come to Sioux Falls, there's always a group that comes in. But with that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.